It's May 14th, 2024, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel. At a campaign stop in New Jersey, Donald Trump praised the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Wait a minute, my teleprompter app must be acting up. At a campaign stop in New Jersey, Donald Trump praised the late, great Hannibal Lecter. No, that's what it says. Okay. Trump praised Hannibal Lecter. He then announced his running mate would be Dilbert. A disappointed Ziggy was unavailable for comment. In news of another baddie presidential candidate, no, not that one. Presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he believes a worm got into his brain a decade ago and ate part of it. At least it was just a worm. There are far worse things that can get into a Kennedy's brain. A zoo in China was accused of dyeing dogs' fur and trying to pass them off as pandas. You had me at dying dogs. Hey. Speaking of the South Dakota governor, due to her inflammatory comments about indigenous tribal leaders benefiting from drug cartels, Kristi Noem has been banned from the land of six, count 'em, six indigenous tribes in South Dakota. Plus, her account has been suspended by both Petco and Chewy because she shot her dog and that goat. You remember we just mentioned that? We alluded to it like 30 seconds ago. And last week and the week before. We're getting a lot of mileage out of Governor Noem lately. How about a reality show where Kristi Noem, Lauren Boebert, and Marjorie Taylor Greene travel around the world living with the indigenous peoples of the 7 continents? Call it White Women Go Wild, hosted by Sarah Palin. I'd watch it. I wouldn't watch it. A historic geomagnetic storm gave millions of people the opportunity to witness a dazzling display of the Northern Lights as far south as Texas and Florida over the weekend. Here with more is Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Burton Cowden.
Brian, I have to make a confession. See, what had happened was I got this new laser pointer. It's super powerful. It's got this cool attachment, makes like the light wavy and stuff. And I think I'm the reason people think they saw the Northern Lights. And I'm sorry, world. I just got the laser pointer, thought it would be fun to play with. And now I see on the news all this stuff about the Northern Lights and people seeing it all the way in the south even. And I think it was me. And I thought that, again, I was just having a little fun, but I'm sorry. I'll put it away. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you, Burton. They say confession is good for the soul. On Sunday, Vladimir Putin replaced his defense minister Sergei Shoigu as part of a shakeup of his national security team. Shoigu will retire quietly to a villa near the Baltic Sea, where he'll write his memoirs, paint, and grow heirloom tomatoes. Nah, I'm kidding. He's going to be poisoned and die a horrible death in less than a month. Pootie Poo always poisons his favorites. The Boy Scouts are changing their name to Scouting America to to reflect its new priority of inclusion. Scouting America is short for Scouting America for Non-Binary Kids Who Give a Shit About the Outdoors. A school board in Virginia voted in favor of restoring the names of Confederate military leaders to 2 of its schools. Board members say a previous decision to remove the names was too hasty. The board also decided to change the name of the school's mascots to Stormtroopers. And no, they're not Star Wars fans. The makers of ChatGPT announced they have created a voice-activated AI model that can have realistic conversations. They say it will be so realistic that hours after the conversation, the AI will still think about that one stupid thing it said. It's been a while since we've done an entire segment about sports, so let's do one now. The NBA suspended Milwaukee Bucks guard Patrick Beverley for 4 games because he threw a basketball at the fans during the Bucks' season-ending game. That's why the Bucks lost to the Indiana Pacers in the playoffs. One of their own players passed the ball to the wrong people. Over in the NFL, the 2024 regular season schedule won't be released until Wednesday night, but already the Carolina Panthers are 0-4. Switching to baseball briefly, so we can mention that all 30 teams wore pink accented uniforms on Mother's Day, and stick to the conceit of this being the sports segment of the show that we haven't done in a while. And then we'll badly segue to this. Mother's Day was this past weekend, the day where we plan activities all day for Mom to do. Keep her busy. What's the opposite of that? Father's Day. Let's just leave Dad alone. Hey, here's an activity and or sport you can participate in to stay busy. Click that subscribe button below. You can also click the link to our Patreon while you're down there, or scan the code, if you'd like to help us make some new short films. We've got some projects in the works, and any dollar offset goes right into the comedy. Any dollar offset goes right into the comedy. Yeah, I think that made sense. Maybe. Thus ends this week's gratuitous plug. McDonald's announced that they will try to lure back cash-strapped customers with a new $5 value meal that includes a burger, fries, and a drink. Meanwhile, Starbucks announced their new $5 deal, a cup of ice. Canadian poplet Avril Lavigne shared on Instagram a picture of her wearing the same outfit she wore 22 years ago for her complicated music video when she was 17. And it still fits. It's like I always tell young women, bulimia works. It's how I got skinny. Actor Steven Seagal could face European Union sanctions for attending the inauguration of Russian President Vladimir Putin. He will, however, not face any sanctions for having a Count Chocula hairline made out of Flex Seal. I used to have one of those. A new study shows that 1 in 5 food app delivery drivers are assaulted on the job. Meanwhile, 5 in 5 food app customers are assaulted by the convenience fee. Reports say that the Port Authority bus terminal in New York City has a secret clean bathroom, if you can find it. In fact, the bathroom is so clean that not even one homeless person pooped on the floor today. Oh, I wish I could say the same for myself. A 62-year-old man who received the first ever pig kidney transplant has just died. In tribute to the pig who gave its kidney, an apple will be placed in the man's mouth and he will then be cremated over an open fire. A pastor claimed that he visited his wife's body 4 times trying to raise her from the dead, though he eventually regretted it when, per usual, she woke up a cranky bitch. And that's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me. She is always in a great mood when she wakes up.